Okay, so this is going to be a quick video of our beginnings of our pelvis and our abdomen 1 movement. So zoom in a little bit here. And once again, this is no JCMs. So all these initial bends. This does not have bulge maps yet to help with the balance of these morphs, or the muscle movement rather, in the back yet, but this is the preliminary. So kind of see where we're going with it. Very, very smooth and even while trying to maintain our hip bone here. The hardest part being the side to side and still maintain this. Still have some adjustment to do on the opposite ends of the bulge maps. But overall, I think the pelvis is looking good. And opposite, which would be that abdomen 1. Still some cleanup to do, but overall, I think it's really, really good. I know that some people might think, excuse me, some people might think that the range is a little short, that we don't have a very big range here, but but if you're bending at the actual spine here, and you try to do that without bending your pelvis or your thighs, you'll find that you cannot bend very far. So we've got it at a total of about 23, and with both movements here, let's put it on the smooth shaded so you can actually see a little bit. So obviously we've got some smoothing to do in the highlighted areas, in that creasing and whatnot. Bring that back a little better. But basically what's happening here is we're limiting the movement to, give us some sense of realism. We tend to be able to, people don't think you can bend that far back or really this far forward. It doesn't seem like it's a lot. But most of your actual bending, when you bend over, happens in your thighs anyway. You don't realize it until you stand up and try to bend just your torso. And the same thing goes for when you're sitting down. You sit down, you're actually moving more of your thigh, where your femur sets in that ball socket. The pelvis itself moves very little at the spine. So we can still do things like, I'm going to take this hip bone and kind of rotate us around a little bit, just to give you an idea of what can be accomplished. I can literally take her all the way down if I wanted to. Now this is max range of just the thighs and the hip. Let's take a look and see. Yeah, that's pretty good. I could probably bend it a little bit. And I'll adjust the position of the hip so that when we rotate, that the foot actually maintains the distance, the height. So when you rotate about the hip and then move your thighs to the max rotation, it's pretty close right now. Those are the kind of details that we're trying to keep so that it makes it easier when I put in the control for the bend forward. Obviously, this is extreme. I wouldn't bend it that far in just the lower half. I would probably go somewhere in here, and the rest of it would, you'd be bending at the secondary abdomen and chest to give you that more rounded look. Now those bends have not been done. That's why it's, I'll put the mesh back on so that you can see that it's stretching here and here at the chest and the abdomen too, because I haven't got that far yet. But I just wanted you to kind of see the work in progress and how we're getting that back to bend really, really smooth in the lower, the abdomen one, and in the pelvis. So you can see it's a nice, there's no like unnatural hump or bulging. And when we start to work on abdomen 2, the bend is going to finish in there and be nice and smooth when we're all done. So obviously we'll be bending more on abdomen 2 than we will with the abdomen 1, because you're actually a little bit more flexible in your upper or in your mid spinal column than you are in the bottom, like 6 or 7. I think the first 3 are pretty minimal bending range, but we will be able to do yoga poses and even, achieve, legs behind the head kind of deal once the range is there. So there will be some possibilities here for yoga poses. So she's going to be really flexible once we start getting the rest of the back in there. But I just wanted you to see our progress so far. It is looking good. Like I said, I will smooth out the rest of the pelvis and abdomen 1, and then start with the bulges before we add any JCM. So like we'll pull it in here and pull it out there a little bit, things like that. It'll be nice when it's all done, just to maintain the volume and our bone structure within that. So, and as you can see, it works really well with the thigh bends, so it keeps with our minimal JCM is what we're going to shoot for with all of these. Yeah, so there you go. Till next update, and after I get these smoothings out, I'll continue on up the torso, and then we'll probably work from the hands inward on the arms and then head down into the chest. All right, thanks.